In the heart of the city, St. Agnes Hospital stood as a looming testament to the past. A once thriving medical facility, it had now fallen into disrepair. The main building bustled with modern equipment and hurried footsteps. But the East Wing, abandoned for decades, held a chilling history. It was said to be haunted, the source of unsettling whispers and inexplicable shadows. Amelia, a young nurse fresh out of nursing school, found herself assigned to the night shift in the East Wing. Eager to prove herself, she disregarded the warnings of her colleagues. On her first night, the air in the East Wing felt heavy, and the distant echoes of footsteps sent shivers down her spine. One night, Amelia discovered an old patient file belonging to a woman named Margaret. According to the records, Margaret had disappeared mysteriously from her room in the East Wing 50 years ago. Intrigued, Amelia delved deeper into Margaret's story, unaware that she was opening a door to the hospital's dark past. As Amelia spent more nights in the East Wing, she began to hear whispers, faint voices that seemed to echo through the empty halls. The voices grew louder, filled with anguish and fear. Amelia, determined to unravel the mystery, followed the whispers, leading her to the room where Margaret had vanished. In the room, Amelia felt an overwhelming malevolent presence. Shadows danced on the walls, and a bone-chilling coldness settled in the air. The whispers turned into desperate cries, and Amelia realized that the spirit of Margaret was trying to communicate something vital and terrifying. Amelia discovered that the hospital's dark history involved a secret society that had conducted sinister rituals in the East Wing. These rituals were believed to grant immortality, but had led to unimaginable horrors. Margaret had been a victim of these rituals, her spirit trapped between the realms, seeking justice and release. Amelia sought the help of Richard Kane, a renowned paranormal investigator. Together, they delved into the hospital's archives, uncovering the truth about the secret society and the rituals they had performed. Armed with this knowledge, they prepared to confront the malevolent forces that plagued the East Wing. In a daring midnight seance, Amelia and Richard attempted to communicate with Margaret's spirit. The room filled with an otherworldly presence, and Margaret's anguished voice filled the air. As they asked the right questions, the spirit revealed the secrets of the rituals, empowering Amelia and Richard with the knowledge to banish the malevolent forces. Armed with ancient incantations and blessed artifacts, Amelia and Richard faced the malevolent entities in the East Wing. The room trembled with supernatural energy as shadows contorted into grotesque forms. A fierce battle ensued, the air crackling with power as the living fought the restless dead. Amelia and Richard performed a cleansing ritual, channeling the energy of the spirits that had suffered at the hands of the secret society. The room lit up with an ethereal glow as the spirits of the victims lent their strength. With a final incantation, the malevolent entities were banished, their screams echoing through the halls before fading into nothingness. With the malevolent forces vanquished, the East Wing of St. Agnes Hospital felt lighter, as if a great weight had been lifted. The atmosphere changed, the air no longer thick with fear. The hospital itself seemed to breathe a sigh of relief, its dark past finally confronted and cleansed. Word of Amelia and Richard's bravery spread, and the hospital was no longer seen as a place of dread. Families with ailing loved ones felt a renewed sense of hope, and the hospital saw a resurgence of life. The East Wing, once abandoned, was renovated and reopened, its rooms now filled with the hum of modern medical equipment and the laughter of children. The spirits of the victims found peace, their apparitions appearing one last time to thank Amelia and Richard. With smiles on their ethereal faces, they faded into the light, their souls finally free from the torment that had bound them for decades. In the following months, Amelia and Richard wrote a book detailing their experiences, hoping to shed light on the dark history of St. Agnes Hospital and the bravery that had saved it. The book became a bestseller, its pages serving as a testament to the triumph of good over evil. Amelia and Richard's story inspired a new generation of paranormal investigators. The East Wing of St. Agnes Hospital became a site of pilgrimage for those interested in the supernatural, but instead of fear, it now inspired awe and respect. The hospital's legacy was one of redemption and the indomitable human spirit. Years passed, and the events of that fateful night became a distant memory. St. Agnes Hospital continued its mission of healing, its halls filled with the footsteps of dedicated medical professionals. On quiet nights, when the moon was full and the wind whispered through the trees, some claimed to hear faint echoes of laughter, a reminder of the souls that had found peace and the courage that had saved them all. In the hospital's attic, a forgotten diary was discovered, hidden away for decades. Its pages contained the first-hand account of a nurse who had witnessed the secret society's rituals. The diary corroborated Amelia and Richard's story, providing further evidence of the supernatural events that had transpired within the hospital's walls. The discovery of the diary seemed to stir something dormant within the hospital. Strange occurrences, though subtle at first, began to escalate. Lights flickered and equipment malfunctioned without explanation. A sense of unease settled over the hospital, as if the spirits of the past were trying to communicate once more. Margaret's spirit, thought to have found peace, reappeared. Her form was no longer one of anguish but determination. She reached out to Amelia in dreams, her message urgent and cryptic. The ritual was never completed, she whispered, her voice echoing in Amelia's mind. Amelia, compelled by Margaret's message, delved back into the hospital's history. She discovered that the ritual to banish the malevolent forces had never been completed properly. A missing artifact, a talisman of great power, had disrupted the ritual, leaving a crack in the spiritual barrier that had allowed the malevolent entities to return. Amelia, accompanied by a new ally, a historian named Dr. Eleanor Harper, embarked on a quest to find the missing talisman. Their journey took them to ancient libraries and hidden archives, where they deciphered cryptic texts and followed a trail of clues left behind by the secret society. Their quest led them to a secluded monastery in the mountains. There, they encountered the Guardian of Secrets, a wise and enigmatic figure who tested their resolve. After passing a series of challenges, the Guardian revealed the location of the talisman, a long-forgotten chamber deep beneath the hospital. In the depths of the hospital, Amelia and Dr. Harper found the Chamber of Shadows, a place where the secret society had conducted their most potent rituals. The talisman, encased in a protective barrier, pulsed with ancient energy. Amelia, guided by Margaret's presence, reached through the barrier and claimed the talisman. Armed with the talisman, Amelia and Dr. Harper prepared for the second ritual. The hospital's atmosphere grew charged with supernatural energy as they chanted the incantations and performed the sacred gestures. The talisman glowed, its light merging with their efforts to create a powerful spiritual barrier. As the ritual reached its peak, the malevolent entities launched a furious onslaught. Shadows swirled around them, and the very ground trembled under the force of the spirit's anger. Amelia and Dr. Harper stood firm, their determination unwavering, as they fought to complete the ritual and seal the crack in the spiritual barrier. In a moment of desperation, Dr. Harper offered herself as a sacrifice, channeling her life force into the ritual. Her sacrifice infused the ritual with unparalleled power, strengthening the spiritual barrier and pushing back the malevolent entities. Dr. Harper's form glowed with ethereal light before vanishing, her sacrifice ensuring the ritual's success. With the ritual completed and the talisman's power harnessed, the spiritual barrier was sealed once more. The malevolent entities, now weakened and unable to break through, shrieked in frustration before dissipating into the ether. The hospital's atmosphere cleared, and a profound sense of peace settled over the building. Margaret's spirit appeared one last time, her form radiant with gratitude. She thanked Amelia for her bravery and Dr. Harper for her sacrifice. With a serene smile, Margaret faded into the light, her spirit finally finding the peace it had longed for. In the hospital's courtyard, a memorial was erected to honor the bravery of those who had saved it twice. The names of Amelia and Dr. Harper were engraved on the stone, alongside Margaret's, a reminder of the courage that had triumphed over the supernatural forces that had threatened the hospital. With the malevolent entities banished and the spiritual barrier restored, St. Agnes Hospital underwent a transformation. Its walls, once marked by shadows, now gleamed with renewed vitality. The hospital became a beacon of hope, its reputation restored, and patients from all around sought solace within its halls. Years passed, and the events of that tumultuous time became a legend. Amelia and Dr. Harper's story inspired generations, their courage becoming a symbol of hope. The hospital stood as a testament to the triumph of good over evil, its halls echoing with the laughter of children and the whispers of the past, a reminder that even in the face of darkness, light would always prevail. Despite the peace that had returned to St. Agnes Hospital, unexplained phenomena continued to occur. Lights flickered without reason, and sometimes the laughter of children echoed through the empty halls, even when there were no children in sight. Some believed that the spirits of the past were still present, watching over the hospital they had come to consider their home. A curious paranormal investigator named Samuel arrived at St. Agnes Hospital, drawn by the tales of its haunted history. Determined to uncover the truth, he set up his equipment and began his investigations. Samuel was skeptical at first, but as he delved deeper into the hospital's past, he found himself facing phenomena he couldn't explain. During one of his investigations, Samuel experienced a vision, a glimpse into the past when the hospital was still teeming with life. He saw the faces of the patients, heard the laughter of nurses, and felt the hope that permeated the air. Among these visions, he heard a message from the spirits: "Protect the hospital, for it is a sanctuary for the living and the dead." Margaret's spirit appeared to Samuel, her presence calm and reassuring. She revealed that the hospital had become a bridge between the worlds, a place where the living and the spirits could coexist peacefully. However, a dark force was threatening this delicate balance. Margaret implored Samuel to help protect the hospital from this new threat. A sinister presence began to infiltrate the hospital, its malevolence palpable. Shadows twisted and danced on the walls, and patients reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. Samuel, armed with his knowledge of the supernatural, realized that a new powerful entity had taken an interest in the hospital. The dark entity, once a powerful sorcerer in life, sought to harness the spiritual energy of the hospital to gain unimaginable power. It had devised a ritual to amplify its abilities, intending to consume the souls of both the living and the dead within the hospital to fuel its dark ambitions. Samuel, along with a team of brave individuals he had gathered, embarked on a race against time. They delved into ancient texts and consulted spiritual experts, desperately seeking the way to thwart the dark entity's plans. The hospital's peaceful coexistence of the living and the dead was at stake, and failure was not an option. Their research led them to a forbidden ritual, one that could temporarily weaken the barrier between the worlds, allowing them to confront the dark entity directly. However, the risks were immense. Failure would result in the entity gaining unimaginable power, and the consequences would be catastrophic for both the living and the spirits. As the night of the ritual approached, the atmosphere within the hospital grew tense. Patients were moved to other facilities, and the staff prepared for the impending spiritual upheaval. The spirits of the hospital's past gathered, their determination evident, ready to lend their strength to the living in the upcoming battle. The night arrived, and the ritual began. Samuel and his team chanted ancient incantations, their voices blending with the ethereal whispers of the spirits. The barrier between the worlds wavered, and the dark entity's presence filled the room. A battle of wills and spiritual energy ensued, the hospital's fate hanging in the balance. In the midst of the battle, the spirits of the hospital intervened. Their collective energy surged, forming a protective barrier around Samuel and his team. Empowered by the spirit's strength, they launched a counterattack, forcing the dark entity to retreat momentarily. During the confrontation, one of Samuel's team members, a young medium named Lily, offered herself as a sacrifice. She willingly allowed the dark entity to possess her, believing that from within, she could weaken its resolve. With immense courage, she withstood the entity's torment, buying precious time for her companions. Samuel, now infused with the spirit's energy, faced the dark entity in a final standoff. The room crackled with spiritual energy, and the very air seemed to vibrate with power. With a mighty surge, Samuel expelled the dark entity from Lily's body and sealed it within a protective amulet, rendering it powerless. With the dark entity banished and the hospital's spiritual balance restored, the barrier between the worlds was renewed and reinforced. The spirits of the past, grateful for the living's bravery, helped strengthen the barrier, ensuring that no malevolent force could breach it again. With the threat neutralized, the hospital once again became a place of peaceful coexistence. The spirits of the past, grateful for the protection of their sanctuary, offered their assistance to those who passed away within the hospital's walls. Patients and staff alike felt a sense of serenity, knowing that they were guarded by benevolent spirits. In a heartfelt ceremony, the living and the spirits came together to express their gratitude. The hospital's courtyard was filled with laughter and tears as the two worlds connected, forming a bond that transcended the boundaries of life and death. The living thanked the spirits for their protection, and the spirits, in turn, offered their eternal gratitude. In the years that followed, the hospital became a beacon of hope and healing. Samuel and Lily, now bonded by the supernatural events they had endured, became the guardians of the hospital, ensuring that its peaceful coexistence endured. Together, they continued the work of protecting the living and the dead, their bond with the spirits unbreakable. The story of St. Agnes Hospital became a legend, passed down through generations. Samuel and Lily's bravery became a symbol of unity between the worlds, inspiring others to embrace the supernatural and accept the presence of the spirits. The hospital's enduring legacy served as a reminder that even in the face of darkness, humanity's courage could prevail. As the years turned into centuries, St. Agnes Hospital remained a sanctuary for the living and the dead. The hospital's walls echoed with the laughter of children, the whispers of the past, and the comforting presence of the spirits. It stood as a testament to the enduring bond between the worlds, a place where the living found solace and the spirits found eternal peace. And so, the tale of St. Agnes Hospital, a haven for both the living and the dead, became an immortal legend, echoing through time as a beacon of hope and unity in a world filled with mysteries.